Hi, sunshines. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm so sorry that I'm not here with you, but I will be back. If you need something while I'm gone and you're confused by Robot Mrs. Matthews, take a breath. Send me an email, send me a message in Canvas. Chat with me when I get back. We'll get you caught up if something doesn't make sense. But we are going to continue similar to like we would in class with notes. So you're just going to have virtual me instead of me in person for today. Remember that you can take notes however you want. With this being a video, you can pause me, make me go faster, slower, whatever you need to do, so that you can get the information that you need so that we can keep moving forward. I'll be back in the building very, very soon, so don't stress too much. But we are going to keep moving forward so that we don't fall too far behind. And today we're going to get into economic systems. So these notes are in Canvas. You have the slides as well, but I'm going to go through them with you and talk about some stuff. So an economic system is the way that a nation uses its resources to satisfy people's needs and wants. And we've talked about needs versus wants. We've talked about the definition of economics and how that works. So an economic system is specifically how a specific country uses its resources to satisfy the needs and wants of the people in that country. Questions that have to be answered, and I'm sorry, picture is kind of cutting some of this off, my bad. Questions that have to be answered for an economic system to work is what should be produced, how should it be produced, and who are we making it for? Who's buying it? Who's consuming it? Because if we can't answer those questions, our economic system is not going to work. What goods and services are we providing? How are we providing those goods and services, and who is consuming those goods and services? If we can't answer those questions, our economic system is not going to work properly. When it comes to what should be produced, governments and businesses and people have to decide how to use limited resources. We only have so much land. We only have so many people who can do certain jobs. We only have access to so much stuff. So how are we going to use the resources that we have to make what it is we want to make? How do we decide what we're going to make versus what we're going to not make? How do we decide that we're going to stop making something and make something else? And those are questions that the government and business owners have to decide when it comes to producing things. We only have so much. How are we going to make enough for the people that want it? How are we actually producing it? How many workers are we going to need? What's their skill level necessary? Do we need people who are artistic to design things? Do we need people who can weld things together? Do we need people who are really good at math to put formulas together to create something? What kind of skill level do we need? What kind of machines are we going to need in order to make what we're making? And what kind of potential technology are we going to use to make things? You are in an age where technology is at your fingertips. You have smartwatches and phones and iPads and laptops and things that I didn't have growing up. And so that technology and what technology goes into making those things is very different and it evolves over time. And so businesses and governments have to adapt to that ever evolving technology to create things to keep up with today's society. And who are we producing things for? If nobody's buying it, we're not going to make it anymore. They don't make Crystal Pepsi anymore because people stopped buying it. It wasn't good. If you don't know what Crystal Pepsi was, it was a clear version of Pepsi. Super strange. But they don't make that anymore because the target audience just isn't there. So when they're thinking about who are we producing things for, products are made with a target audience in mind. Who's willing to buy those certain things? And that's going to influence also how it's distributed. Do we make things for who's willing to spend the most money or for who needs things more? Because in terms of like luxury things, sure, people like Prada and Gucci and whatever other name brand things you like, but not everybody needs those things. So do we devote all our time to things that people are going to spend more money on? Or do we focus on the average everyday person and what they actually need, because then more people are buying it, even though it's a cheaper option. And so those are things that businesses especially have to weigh. Do we sell the luxury thing to a few people for lots of money, or do we sell a ton of the cheaper thing to more people? There's some pros and cons there. There are four basic types of economic systems. They are traditional, command, market, and mixed. Those economic systems are going to be important as we progress through. So traditional, command, market, and mixed. A traditional economy is based on customs or beliefs where people are going to do as they've always done. This tends to be more of a barter system. You're going to see it in more like tribal communities where they trade things back and forth to get what they want. So you have mangoes, I have avocados. We're going to trade and share things that way. Or trading other resources. It doesn't necessarily have to be food. It could be other things. But it's more of a trade-off, that traditional, more of an old world type thinking. That economic system is not as popular as it used to be. There are parts of the world where it definitely still is, but not as common in today's society as it used to be. A command market is where the government makes all the major economic decisions like production, how to use resources, and they set prices. So command is where the government takes total control. So command, they're commanding the whole thing. So where a government has complete and total control to make all economic decisions for what to produce, how to produce, and the price point, that's a command economy. A market economy is also going to be known as capitalism. You're going to hear lots more people say capitalism versus market, or they may call it a free market. Same type of thing. In a market economy, individuals make all of the key decisions, including producing and purchasing. So people drive what we make and what people are willing to sell. And if more people buy things, they may raise the price because that may be something that people are going to continue to buy anyway. When less people buy things, the price gets cheaper. And to think about it that way, think of like stores, they start clearancing stuff out when it's no longer in season because the demand is lower, not as many people want it. So it's not worth as much to people. And so the price goes down. Market economy is mostly what the United States is. There are some exceptions in certain areas, and we'll eventually talk about those. And a mixed economy is a combination of market and command economies, where individuals make most of the decisions, but the government regulates things. And there are parts of the United States economy that are more mixed than market. That's okay. I'm not saying that any of these are right or wrong. They're just in existence, and I need you to know that these are the 4 types of economies. But a mixed is a mostly market economy, but it allows for governments to regulate certain aspects of it, whether it's regulating production or consumption or price points. So make sure that you are aware of those things. I know that I went through this really fast. If you need to go back, review things, that's totally fine. But I don't want to make a 40-minute long YouTube video. We'll review some of this when I get back. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to see you all very, very soon. Again, if you need something, you let me know. I will gladly help you out. Send me a message in Canvas, shoot me an email. My email's on the back whiteboard in my classroom. Have a fantastic day. Make good choices, wear a seatbelt, brush your teeth, and I will see you all very, very soon.